We talk about Zach Wilson, and now he's going to come to New York. He's right in the bright lights of New York. Everybody talks about Broadway Joe and Joe Namath. And we talk about Mark Sanchez. He came from USC. Pretty boy. Pete Carroll came out and said that he doesn't belong in the NFL. He should have played another year in college. And then we brought in Sam Darnold, another USC guy that a lot of people thought he was suck for Sam. Everybody was talking about this guy is going to be the future Jets quarterback, and he's going to take the Jets to the promised land. This is the first time an NFL team in 3 years' time drafted in a top 3 picks 2 quarterbacks. When you look at Zach Wilson and his ability and what he has done as a college player with BYU, him coming to New York, do you think the bright lights in New York is too much with a young kid of this magnitude?
It is certainly going to be different than anything he's ever experienced. And he loves his family. One of the reasons he came to BYU after committing to Boise State is he could get home to his family for dinner on Sunday nights. But his uncle founded JetBlue, so they're not going to have any trouble getting back there and rallying around him in New York. Those of us, I had a little stint with Good Morning America back when I was a senior at BYU many moons ago, and I had never been to New York before, and it is an amazing place. But it's still football, and it's the Jets facility, and then it's the football stadium, and it's you and 10 other guys, and you're going up against the best in the world, unless they're playing the Giants. Everyone in Utah is now Jets fan, and they don't like the Giants for no particular reason except that Zach's on the Jets. I think it's just going to be exciting. He's fresh and new, and I'll tell you, Steve Young the other day, as we were talking with him, said he was asked if he was worried that Zach was going to the Jets because there was a lot of buzz out here that he was going to go to the 49ers, or at least that the 49ers wanted him and they were built for him and all of that stuff. And Steve said he didn't think so. He thought it'd be fine with the Jets because the 49ers coaches are now coaching the Jets. And he thought that Shanahan influence would be just fine for Zach. And now it's just about getting the guys around him. You guys are more expert than I, but the Buffalo Bills shared a pretty good model. They got a quarterback from Wyoming. He wasn't even that great at Wyoming. BYU beat him in the bowl game down in San Diego, and it was like, okay, well, he's big enough to be a quarterback. They saw some things in him, and then they started building around him. And now look at the Bills today. They're going to be contenders this fall, and I think if the Jets look at that model and say, okay, over the next few years, we got to add the best receiver, or we got to one of the best running backs, we got to rebuild our line. And then all of a sudden, who'd have thought the Bills would be contenders? The Jets can be contenders, but they got somebody now I think they can build around.
So if you were to compare Zach Wilson to one quarterback, one veteran and one younger quarterback that's already been established in the league, who do you think he compares best to?
You guys are going to kill me on this, but Patrick Mahomes tweeted him a few times during the season because he's got that kind of creativity. Now, Mahomes had the luxury of sitting behind Alex Smith an entire season and watching before he ever took the field. And Zach's probably not going to have that opportunity, which I think is priceless. But he's got the playmaking ability, and you've seen some highlights where he's managed to get passes off that are difficult to get off and be spot on to the receiver. He's not the next Patrick Mahomes, but he has some Mahomes pizzazz in him that people out here, and even Andy Reid, as you know, is a BYU guy, and Andy has been all over Zach with his ability and what he sees on his team and what he thinks Zach can do. There are some guys who can make plays. Manziel made a lot of plays, just in transition to the NFL. Zach's going to have to make the plays, but in his resume, he's got the creativity and the physically to get the ball there that we're just as curious as anybody to see how he does at that level. But I like his Mahomes creativity, and it's so hard to compare with the quarterbacks in the NFL because of the best in the world. I just think he's got the skill set to either stay in the pocket or roll out, and he hits the mark. He throws the ball where it needs to be, and he doesn't turn it over. And gosh, if you got to draft somebody, I love that resume.